We have basketball today here in Ann Arbor, but the big story, Michigan football got their man. It's a homecoming for Jim Harbaugh. He was introduced as Michigan's new head coach. The student section responding. They're wearing their khakis. They'll hear from the coach at halftime. So will you. Michigan and Illinois now. Welcome inside a sold-out Chrysler Center here in Ann Arbor. It's a basketball afternoon, but football's in the air. Illinois and Michigan opening up the Big Ten schedule. Bob Wischusen alongside Dan Dockich. It is the Big Ten opener for both of these teams. Obviously, it's a very important basketball game, but we feel like we're at the center of the sports universe because of the press conference that was held a couple of hours ago. Jim Harbaugh introduced as the new Maize and Blue football coach. He'll be here at halftime. You'll hear what he has to say to the crowd, and it's palpable inside this building.
It's been all day. I came over early just to see what was going on, and there were kids outside lined up, and it's freezing here. Nobody seemed to care. They had signs, they had their khakis on, and you can feel it in this arena. This arena is buzzing, certainly for the first Big Ten basketball game of the year, but more than that because of Jim Harbaugh coming here to be the football coach. And I think I saw white smoke billowing somewhere out of one of the buildings, maybe Angel Hall. In terms of the game, Michigan desperately needs a win. It's well documented what their struggles have been. They haven't been able to shoot the ball. They really haven't played defense. Quickness, a real factor, and they're going to get tested tonight by an Illinois team that has real quickness. And Rivante Rice, number 24, is one of the great basketball players in the country. I have no idea if he's an NBA guy, but I know that he does everything. He scores 18 a night, he rebounds, he guards the best, and as you saw against Missouri, he's a clutch kid.
A transfer from Oregon State, Ahmad Starks getting the start at point guard. He has been vital in setting up Rivante Rice and getting Rice off to the nearly 18-point-per-game start. And boy, does Michigan need a win to start off the Big Ten schedule. Zach Urban leads Michigan at over 15 points a game. Caris LeVert chiming in at 14.9 points per game. But losses at home to NJIT and Eastern Michigan to go along with losses to Villanova, Arizona, and SMU have the Wolverines off to a 7-5 start. And Dan, they might need 11 wins in the Big Ten Conference just to make the NCAA tournament.
Real concern in the Michigan program about making the tournament. That's why they feel this game's a must. You got to win these kind of games.
Derek Walton Jr. averaging 11 points and nearly 4 assists per game. Runs the point, but it's Irvin and LeVert that carry the offensive load.
Boy, is this fun. This is going to be Rivante Rice on LeVert. LeVert has not scored well his last 3 games, no double figures. Rivante Rice is as good a defender as there is in the Big Ten at the wing position.
Irvin breaks the ice, and Michigan's on the board.
Well, you saw early in the possession they were trying to get the same move for LeVert. Rice too good defensively, so later in the possession they went to Irvin and he delivered.
And Egwu with the jump hook, and we're tied at 2.
A really nice move by Egwu. He took Ricky Doyle into the middle of the lane. He goes to the middle to kind of explore. His left shoulder, he goes to go make baskets. Set it up nice.
Rivante Rice on Caris LeVert. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch today. And here's LeVert trying to take him off the bounce. In the corner, sets up Cameron Chapman.
Massive for Cam Chapman to be able to make that shot. Bob, I'm telling you, nobody practices a baseline jump shot more than Cam Chapman. Shooting about 24%, mostly on baseline jumpers that he works and works and works at.
Tried to find Egwu, broken up by Chapman. It will stay with Illinois. And there's John Beilein, 8th year here in Ann Arbor. And of course, taking Michigan to their first title game in 20 years, a couple of years ago. 4 20-plus win seasons in a row, but he'll have a tough time with this group having gotten off to the start they got off to, even making the tournament field.
Yeah, but let me just talk about that a minute.
Rice can't hit as the shot clock wound down.
Bobby, I'm not betting against John Beeline. That's one of the outstanding coaches. His teams get better. More importantly, his players get better as the season rolls on.
He's got a good one in Karis LeVert. Starks sets up Rice. Wide open in the corner. It's none. That's in and out. Offensive rebound. Won't go for Malcolm Hill. Walton tries. That won't go. And the rebound pulled down by Rice.
Now, Walton has a bad toe, and it showed it there. He didn't get any explosion up to the rim. Shot is short.
Held ball. And it goes to Michigan. John Gross has won 20 or more each of his first 2 years in Champaign. Last season only made it to the NCAA tournament in his first season, but pretty high expectations for this group this year. This should be a tournament team.
Well, it should be, and this is a veteran team, Bob. You and I have been doing it seems like egg move forever. Levante Rice in his 5th year, 2 transfers that sat out last year. This is a veteran group.
Zach Irvin thought he was fouled. Officials say no, just a straight air ball that goes over to the Illini. John Beeline, I'm sure, is saying he's too good of a shooter to toss up a straight air ball.
Let me put you this way. Something happened there. You know, I mean, he went up like he was going to make a shot, and he ended up shooting 4 feet short. He either got hit or the ball got tipped.
Rice knocks down a 3.
Boy, that's nice. He came off a little double action, 2 circle doubles, and Rice comes off and doing what he's supposed to do. The guy's a 5th-year senior. He scored over 1,500 points at 2 different schools. He should be able, when you need a bucket, to go get one.
If he has a good day today, he'd crack 1,800 career points playing for Drake and for Illinois. LeVert backs it out. Shot clock goes under 10. LeVert, a lot of dribbling, eventually a shot, and he's got it.
Coach a lot of things in basketball, but you don't coach that. That's just absolute skill with the ball.
LeVert just about got a steal. It will stay with Illinois when we return. The joint is jumping here in Ann Arbor for the Big Ten opener for Illinois and Michigan. Bob Wischusen and Dan Dockich back in Ann Arbor, where Michigan has made 4 of their first 6 shots, and they've got the early 4-point lead.
There is an absolute buzz in here, as you said, Bobby. Man, I think the buzz has really helped Michigan. They're moving the basketball better. You see, just reverse it, kick it out, not taking a bad shot. I thought they took really bad shots. That's a good shot. Chapman got that up before the defender could get at him. There's a big difference between a contested shot. Now, this is a contested shot. This is just straight ability by LeVert. But I think the ball over the first 4.5 minutes has been moved much better, much crisper, much sharper by Michigan than it was certainly in the SMU game I did about 10 days ago.
Someone who didn't see NJIT, Eastern Michigan, the other losses for Michigan, and they expect this team to be a pretty good basketball team. What are their biggest shortcomings? What do they have to overcome?
Quickness, keeping the ball in front of you. And I think that's going to be an issue in this game once Michigan goes a little slow, or excuse me, once Illinois goes slow. Now you see Michigan in the zone. Quickness and taking bad shots. The ball gets stagnant in Michigan's hands. And if they're not getting shots in transition, they keep it one-sided, dribble into a shot, and a lot of times it's a bad one. Those are the 2 biggest things.
Here's Jalen Tate in to run the point in place of Ahmad Starks after the timeout. That floater bounces off from Malcolm Hill.
Yeah, Malcolm Hill's gotten 2 good looks. He needs to continue doing what he's doing. He's going to have a big night if he does.
Michigan deep into the shot clock again, and Revante Rice picks the pocket of Chapman. But an offensive foul call. So the foul called on Revante Rice. And the New Year's 6 kicks off on New Year's Eve. Number 9 Ole Miss, number 6 TCU in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at 12:30. Next we move out west for the Vizio Fiesta Bowl. Boise State and Arizona. And we'll cap New Year's Eve with the Capital One Orange Bowl. Number 7 Mississippi State, number 12 Georgia Tech. It all starts at 12:30 on ESPN. It's the New Year's 6 beginning on New Year's Eve. LeVert rises up and comes up way short.
That's the kind of shot I was talking about, Bob. It was 2 passes, one to the wing, one back on top. Next thing you know, you're shooting a shot with Rice in your face.
Rice came up way short off the bank, but an offensive rebound.
And here's the other thing, rebounding. Rice should never get the rebound over Donnell. Donnell is big, he's strong, he's tougher than heck, and Rice just went over him and caused got another possession for Illinois. It should never happen between Doyle and Donnell.
That 3 goes down. Aaron Cosby, who John Gross told us before the game, he can defend and rebound, but when he throws a few in for the Illini, that is huge.
But Cosby and Starks both, I mean, they're here to make baskets. And Cosby made that look easy. I mean, he looks confident. He looks very confident on that shot.
Neither team has a point in the paint so far. It's been all on the perimeter.
Look at all the standing out of Michigan. This is their biggest problem. They just stand after the initial movement doesn't work, and now they're going to try to beat someone off the dribble.
Chapman kicks it to the corner to Walton. Cosby on the move. No good. Tapped around. LeVert threw it to nowhere, but Walton runs it down. Out of bounds, off Walton. Pressure defense works for Jalen Tate, and it's a Michigan turnover.
Bob, the losses to New Jersey Institute of Technology and Eastern Michigan were not flukes. You know, you want to think they are based on recruiting. It's Michigan. But if you took the uniform off Eastern Michigan and Michigan, you would not have been able to tell which was a Big Ten team. Same thing with New Jersey Institute. Now, certainly they were smaller, but, man, they were quicker. And Michigan against quickness gets real stagnant, and we've seen it here the last 2 possessions. That's a bad call. That's just a bad call. If we show that again, he made a little bit of a move, but there wasn't contact there. Guy happened to be watching that. Hey, well, watch this here. You're going to see he's there. There's no contact there. You can get in someone's way in basketball. There was no contact there for a foul. I just happened to be watching that particular part of it. Bad call.
Your eyes seem to find a way to get to the right spot. The ball doesn't get to the right spot here for Karis LeVert as he tries to find Mark Donnell and turns it over.
If you want to really watch basketball, don't watch the ball. And I'll tell you a story about the great Coach Bob Knight about that when we get a chance to. Coach Knight, my first game as a freshman, Randy Whitman, who's the coach of the Wizards, hits a jump shot. Knight looks at the bench and said, "Who made the shot?" And I thought, what are you, nuts? You're the greatest coach ever. How do you miss who made the shot? What are you watching?
The try won't go for Cosby, but the putback is there. LaRon Black gives Illinois their first lead.
And that's what I'm talking about. Penetration, Michigan hasn't been able to keep anybody in front of them, and it opens up the backcourt, and Black goes ahead and finishes. But what I learned to finish the story is that Knight always watched the ball. He always watched off the ball. He never watched the ball. And now, that's how, I can't even begin to tell you most times where the ball is. I see it out of the corner of my eye, and if you want to watch both of these teams, it's fascinating to watch it without the ball.
Guys like Calbert Chaney and Isaiah Thomas, he missed a lot of good things when he wasn't watching the ball.
That's what I was like, man, these guys are good.
I like watching the ball.
But like here, there's nothing going on off the ball, right? Except for rotations on defense.
Skip pass to the corner, and Tate is able to hit a long 2.
Well, right now, far more comfortable is Illinois in half-court offense than what Michigan is. Michigan looks stagnant and uncomfortable. Illinois is moving the basketball, getting the ball to good spots.
LeVert trying to end a 7-0 Illini run, and does. That's the first time in 6 trips that Michigan was able to score points. A turnover. Here comes Karis LeVert. A little Euro crossover, and that is rejected. LaRon Black was able to throw it back. Tate didn't see LeVert, unloaded underneath the Black just in time, and a foul is called. We'll step aside for just a moment. Again, they've got a new head coach here in Ann Arbor. You'll hear some of what he had to say when we come back. Plus, he didn't take the bait on Ohio State, Michigan. We'll explain.
I can assure you that you'll be proud of our young people in the classroom, in the community, and most especially in 310 days in Ann Arbor, Michigan, on the football field.
No, I make no guarantees. I made a guarantee a long time ago, and I've learned from that. I've grown. I understand that you don't make guarantees.
The media went fishing earlier today for a Jim Harbaugh, Jim Tressel type moment, and they didn't get the nugget they were looking for, whereas the Michigan-Ohio State rivalry is concerned, but that was just one of the really charming moments for Jim Harbaugh. You want to talk about a guy that won the press conference on day one? We watched it. He won the press conference.
Oh, he could have fallen down on his head and he was winning this press conference. But let's get beyond all the the happy stuff.
Okay.
He's brought here.
Nobody's better at getting beyond the happy stuff than Dan Dakich.
What's he brought here for? He's brought here to beat Urban Meyer and Ohio State. Let's be honest. I mean, Urban Meyer hasn't lost a game in 3 years in the Big Ten regular season. And Michigan is the winningest program in the history of college football. And Lloyd Carr's sitting right next to us, and it was a thrill for Lloyd Carr to come up and talk to us. But that's what he's brought here for. It's not about meeting Michigan State. That's regional, in my opinion. I may make Michigan State people mad. They went to the Rose Bowl. I get that, but it's about beating Urban Meyer, Michigan State, and there's Gary Moeller, the former coach. And lastly, and beating Urban Meyer and Ohio State. And there are no more excuses for Michigan. Let's think about it. Lloyd Carr was too old, according to Michigan. Rich Rod didn't fit, according to Michigan. Brady Hoke wasn't good enough, according to Michigan. Well, this is their guy with their pedigree who's gone away, won big, other places. Now he comes back. There's no excuses anymore for Michigan football not to be great.
Donnell.
Would you agree with that?
The offensive rebound, the foul called on Maverick Morgan. There's no question. They went to Central Casting.
They did.
And got the coach that every single Michigan fan would say, we're going back to 1997. We're winning the Rose Bowl. We're winning the national championship. We're going to be in the college football playoff. And it is a collision course with that type of success. So you're right. If Michigan falls short now, they fell short with the exact hand-picked guy of every candidate that was out there that they could have had. Jim Harbaugh was the guy that they wanted.
All you got to do is YouTube Les Miles and how his players have been allowed to act to know you don't want Les Miles anywhere near this campus. Jim Harbaugh is a perfect guy for this place. So that was the other guy where you got to get Les Miles from LSU. His guys punch people and they get to play. I mean, hey, Jim Harbaugh, he's a guy. He's the guy.
Morgan able to hit from the baseline. Yeah, there's no question. It was a one-man coaching search.
Yeah, and I don't understand, and this is a little dirty secret in college athletics, but I have no idea, and this is what I have been told by numerous people, that Michigan paid $80 grand to a search for this. How can you do that? Just make a phone call. Yo, Jim, I'm going to give you $8 million. You want to come back home? And that's it. Search firms are ridiculous. And there's a dirty little secret of college athletics, and they're awful, but they went to it apparently.
Spike Albrecht with a little English off the window. Yeah, for like $500, I could have been the search firm. Hey, take a flight out to the Bay Area, wait for the 49ers game to end, get together in a hotel ballroom.
Do you need to
roll out the red carpet and have a press conference?
Does Michigan really need to vet Jim Harbaugh? You know what I mean? But some search firm made $80 grand. What a crowd.
Illinois' bench outscoring Michigan's bench 10-2, and the Illini have the 2-point lead.
Well, really good for Spike Albrecht. He has really struggled in his last 4 games. He has 5 points and 8 turnovers, and that's very unlike Spike Albrecht.
Zach Irvin left alone. Can't make the Illini pay, and another rebound for Revante Rice.
But, Bobby, that's all right. Zach Irvin set up, came off the screen, and got a great look.
Kendrick Nunn hits an NBA-level 3.
Let me give you the most overrated thing, running offense. Zach Irvin did it perfect on one end, got a great screen, wide open, missed it. Kendrick Nunn didn't get a screen. He just took advantage of a defender turning his head, ran to the top of the key, got it in. Just making and missing is such a big deal in college hoops.
Derek Walton gets in the lane. And Maverick Morgan pulls down the rebound. The Illini have 7 field goals by 7 different players, and they have a 5-point lead. Morgan left wide open.
That's his shot. He made one earlier. He and Donnell played with each other. They played for me in AAU, both of them. They were terrific kids. Different. Morgan's more of a shot blocker, and Donnell's more of an offensive, more of a face-up jump shooter. Like, he can hit this.
Way short, though, for Donnell.
How is jinxing balls?
Offensive foul called on Kendrick Nunn. Donnell was set, and Nunn called for the foul. The Illini, though, with a 5-point lead. It is a perfect day outside in Ann Arbor, and Jim Harbaugh will speak at halftime inside. Well, Coach, the Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy comes your way Saturday afternoon on ESPN2. A Big Ten ACC doubleheader. Ohio State losing a tough one this afternoon against Iowa. And the Buckeyes against these Illini starting at 3:30. And then at 5:30, we head to the ACC. The upset-minded Canes take on Justin Anderson and the undefeated Cavaliers. Illinois, Ohio State, then Virginia, Miami. The Saturday Showcase coming up on Saturday afternoon on ESPN2. Bob Wischusen and Dan Dockich here in Ann Arbor. A 5-point lead for Illinois. Michigan's gone cold from the field after a hot start. 12 and a half minutes into the game, each team has only one field goal in the paint. It's been all perimeter offense. That's where the ball stays here, and Aubrey Dawkins can't knock one down.
Man, Aubrey Dawkins had a couple good looks, and that one was dead in. It was bad luck.
Corner forces one up. The student section might have fooled them.
Yeah, they did.
They were counting down the shot clock at 2-1-0. There was still 7 to shoot. Chapman, air ball. Into the corner, sets up Nunn. LeVert's 3 for 5 from the field, but his teammates are 3 for 13. Shot clock winding down for the Wolverines. 5 to shoot. Spike Albrecht from NBA distance. That's no good. And Nana Egwu has the rebound.
No, this is what I'm saying. If you don't get in transition.
Ahmad Starks, quick trigger, and that's a long 2.
Starks and Cosby are a problem because of their quickness and their confidence in making shots. Michigan doesn't have anybody on the floor right now. It's just straight going to go by somebody. And then they don't want to throw the ball inside either, so you're going to have to rely on movement and jump shots.
LeVert has his shot thrown to the corner by Egwu, but right to a waiting Dawkins who hits a 3, and that breaks a nearly 4-minute drought for the Wolverines.
Well, to say they needed that is a vast understatement. Terrific defense by Illinois. Ball just ended up in Dawkins' hand now with a block.
Here comes Spike Albrecht.
And Dawkins again. He's the guy that made it.
LeVert instead. Offensive rebound, and the one-handed putback won't go for Bielfeldt. He tries again, and that putback is good. Timeout calls by John Gross. We'll step aside and come right back to Ann Arbor in 30 seconds. Monday at 7 Eastern on ESPN and watch ESPN. It's our next Journey to the Tourney game presented by Sonic as we continue to spotlight games that could impact the NCAA tournament. Next up, Notre Dame heads to Chapel Hill to take on North Carolina. The Irish lead the country in field goal percentage. The Tar Heels, they've lost 1 game to Kentucky. Not too bad. Monday night, 7. It's Notre Dame, North Carolina.
That's going to be fun. If you haven't seen Notre Dame, that may be the most fun team in the country to watch. They score, they get it down the floor, and you know, you mentioned it, Bob. Number 1 in the country in field goal percentage. They're not a hold on to the ball, get layups team. They'll jack it up. They'll come down flying. They're fun.
Again, coming up at halftime, Jim Harbaugh will address the crowd here at Chrysler Center, and we will carry what he has to say, and that should be just about as the half ends. Jim Harbaugh should be coming out. Here's Spike Albrecht on the steal. Crosses over with the left hand too strong. Nana Egwu saves it. Donnell there, though. We'll check that Ricky Doyle to clean up the mishap from Egwu. Seven straight second chance points for Michigan, tying the game at 20. Soft touch, not there though on the turnaround for Black. But Nana Egwu there on the offensive glass to keep it alive and put the Illini back on top.
Pretty good sequence for Ricky Doyle, except the third play, which was on the backboard. He went to try to block a shot he couldn't get, which left Egwu wide open for the backboard, and he took advantage of it.
Walton returns to Doyle. Foul call. Ricky Doyle will shoot a couple when we come back. Jim Harbaugh talks to the crowd in moments here in Michigan. All right, Coach, thanks very much. 2-point lead for Illinois, but the coaching staff apparently already forming here in the student section, ready to support the head coach. They got the headsets on. They've got the game plan ready. And Jim Harbaugh will come out and address the khaki out at halftime as soon as the first half ends. And it's been a back and forth half between Illinois and Michigan. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Dockage. And Dan, do either of these two teams have enough in the paint to last all the way through the Big Ten season and be a factor?
I think it depends on one guy for each. Ricky Doyle for Michigan, I think, is the guy that has to come on. And he's had some good segments. Terrific against Villanova. Invisible against SMU. Playing okay here. And then I think for Illinois, number 12, Black, is a guy that's really active, skilled, willing, tough. He has to give him some. Egwu is Egwu. He can hit a jump shot, occasionally go down on the block. But if Black can give him something, and Maverick Morgan, then they both have a chance. But right now, no.
Well, these two teams to this point have combined for only 5 paint points through the first nearly 17 minutes. So they're guard-oriented teams, but at some point someone has to score inside for you, don't they?
How many times in the Big Ten have you seen Michigan and Illinois play when there's nobody you throw the ball to on the block? And there's nobody on that game right now you throw the ball to on the block.
Devontae Rice double-teamed.
Sorry, Bobby. They have Maverick Morgan right there. Wouldn't throw it to him.
Morgan comes up short, pulled the string with the left hand.
And he showed him why. I mean, you got to go up and make that in your sophomore year. You got to give your best jump as high as you can, use your strength, get over the front of the rim. I'm a big Maverick Morgan fan, but that was too weak for the Big Ten.
And John Gross told us with Maverick Morgan, as LeVert goes inside, gets fouled by Ravonte Rice, so he'll go to the line. The talent with Morgan is there. The ability level exists. It's just inconsistent in terms of when it shows up.
Bobby, I coached him 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. Then he moved on to another AAU team for his last year. He has real ability to block shots. He can rebound at the top of his at the top of his arm length. Morgan can, but you don't get it out of him all the time. He's a guy that has real ability. He and Donnell both. You can't be nice to Morgan. You can't be nice to Donnell. They both view kindness as weakness. And Michigan staff has started being a little nastier to Donnell, and they've gotten more out of him, and so has Illinois staff to Morgan.
0 for 4 now at the line for Michigan, and Ravonte Rice picking up his second foul. So he goes to the bench.
Skip it if you're Black.
Muscles it across the lane instead, and the freshman LeRon Black can't hit.
That's what I'm talking about. He's a good guy. That's all right. He can go make that, and he'll make it as the year goes on.
LeVert, nice crossover. And the finish.
Well, that was sweet. He just cupped it against him.
Jalen Tate goes to the basket, score the bucket, plus the foul. He attacked Ricky Doyle, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
LeVert pretty good. Watch him cup this so he doesn't get it ripped out. Right there, he cups it to his body and then able to finish. Karis LeVert, right there, I kind of missed talking to you, but look at Black coming over. trying to get the block. And then again, quickness hurts Michigan because Illinois just ran it right at them, and nobody was communicating, and we're looking at three-point play.
Jalen Tate hits, the sophomore that played at Simeon, Chicago, who along with Kendrick Nunn and Jabari Parker won a couple of state titles. That was one heck of a high school basketball team.
I guarantee you Nunn and Tate played defense because Jabari Parker doesn't guard anybody.
Irvin in and out.
Coming out of his hand, kind of on his ring finger and his pinky, and you've got to have the ball release off your big three, your pointer, your middle finger, and your ring finger, not come off the outside of your hand.
Your steal for Irvin. He now has to recover. Strong move on the baseline, though, from Malcolm Hill. Both teams shooting under 40% from the field here in the first half, and that's Hill's first bucket. And a timeout called by John Beeline.
Bobby, Malcolm Hill just absolutely pulled his way to the bucket right through Chapman, the freshman. Malcolm Hill's gained 15 pounds and put it to use right there. That last move was fantastic. Just took advantage of Chapman.
Malcolm Hill is averaging 13 points a game. He only averaged 4.4 last year as a freshman.
This was not his game. It is now. You're going to see right here. He's just going right now. That's where strength comes in, where you're down low and you just bully right there. You're either going to get knocked out of bounds or you're going to be strong enough to play through the contact, keep your chin on the rim, and lay it in, and that's exactly what Hill did.
Coming into this season, Malcolm Hill had not scored more than 11 points in a game. He has scored at least 11 points in 10 of the Illini's first 13 games this year. So he's probably made as much of an improvement as anyone on their roster.
Somebody says, well, is he quick enough? Probably not. Is he strong enough? He is now. Does he shoot it enough? Yeah. But he's not great at any of these areas. He's just a really good, smart basketball player that can do everything in a basketball game. Post, pass, whatever you want him to do, he can do.
And of course, Illinois lost Tracy Abrams to a torn ACL before the season began. How much does that change the outlook on their season as a whole? And even in the early going, when you're trying to work in these young guards, to not have Tracy Abrams.
Abrams their leader. Abrams their guy they look to. Even Abrams has made big shots. However, again, sometimes you just get lucky with who we brought in. These two guards, these transfers, made it a lot easier.
Maverick Morgan stood his ground and shut down Walton. Nice steal at midcourt, though, by Zach Irvin. Walton swoops in. There's Karis LeVert to clean it up. Hill, a baby jumper goes.
Strength. A lot of times we say strength, and we don't talk about what. Right there, he got low, took a bump from Walton, and was able to lift up on balance and knock in a shot, and that's the result of summertime work, getting in the daggone weight room.
Shot clock turned off. Down to 15 seconds to go in the half.
The zone here. Switched it up, little 3-2. Good move.
Spike Albrecht underneath. Unable to finish, though, is Ricky Doyle. But a foul called with 7.9 to go.
Second time in a row, Malcolm Hill. Watch this right here. He's going to get the ball. It's isolation for him going left. He takes a bump, but he's able to gather and not fall backwards. 15 pounds ago, Malcolm Hill would have been knocked backwards. That ball would hit the front of the rim, and away we go. Now, he's able to get it over the front of the rim.
That foul, though, on Malcolm Hill, that's his second. So Hill and Rayvonte Rice, both with 2 fouls for Illinois.
Can I tell you another coach nice stand real quick? First time I ever went to the rim, got fouled, didn't make it, he's screaming at me because you got to make it. Well, Ricky Doyle, and then I missed a free throw, so we got 1 instead of 3. Ricky Doyle, this should have been a 3-point play.
Instead, it's a 2-pointer, and those are the first made free throws here in the first half for Michigan.
But that should have been a 3-point play. And Bob, you've done Big Ten games for a long time. You know what? You've seen games come down to 1 point at the end, shot at the end. You needed 3 out of that, not 2, excuse me. That needed to be 3.
Foul to give, and Walton gives it out near midcourt.
Got 2 more to give.
Only the 3rd team foul on Michigan here in the first half.
3 more to give. They should not get a shot off. Illinois should not. Now you put Abdur Rahman in because you don't want Spike picking up another foul. Good move by Illinois. You got a foul.
But it's a chance for a three-point play, I believe. Do they count the bucket?
Yes.
They do. So obviously the play there was a foul to give unless your opponent's got the ball in the paint and LaRon Black with a chance for an and one.
You have a whole bench of guys in suits and nobody tells Donnell to get in front of Black. Donnell just stood behind, really alert by Illinois, just firing it to the one guy that's closest to the basket. That's unbelievable.
John Beilein's got the "you gotta be kidding me" look on his face as LaRon Black completes the three-point play when his team was just trying to give fouls.
There are some coaches that fire their whole staff at halftime off of that bad boy.
You never worked for one. Zach Urban to midcourt. Nice catch by Walton. He'll go to the basket. Can't finish. And no foul call. He's looking to head of the free throw line, but that takes us to halftime as Illinois closes the first half on a 10-4 run. And they've got a 6-point lead at the break. Of course, there's a fair number of fans here in the building that came to watch a basketball game, but there's a fair number more that bought their tickets when they found out what was going to happen at halftime. And that, Dan Dockich back in Ann Arbor, just about set for the start of the second half. It's a 6-point lead for Illinois over Michigan. And one person that's missing today is our friend Tom Wyrot, but missing for the best possible reason as we welcome Evelyn Grace Wyrot to the world, Mom Chrissy, and Father Tom, who is the Associate Director of Athletic Communications here in Michigan. Brand new baby girl born at 2:56 yesterday afternoon. So Tom, all of our best, our congratulations. We were never so happy to not see you as we were today as we welcome little Evie Wyrot to the world. Congratulations, Chrissy, of course, as well. How many congratulations we handed out for that first half, as these are two teams that struggled offensively. Both teams especially struggling to score in the paint.
Well, I will congratulate John Gross. He got 9 guys to score, and he knows he has some real depth. And all 9 that played in the game scored. They've spread it around. Michigan, look, Karis LeVert has played. Zach Irvin, Derek Walton, a combined 1 for 11. They missed their last 11 shots. Irvin hit his first shot, and then he and Walton combined for an 0 for 11. Now that's just got to change. 2 for 10 from the three-point line. The reason they're not making shots is because Illinois has real quickness. They're up and under the 2 of them, and they haven't gotten anything in transition.
Only 34% from the field as a team in the first half for Michigan. And each team with only 10 paint points, as we expected that to be an Achilles heel for both of these squads going through the season, and it showed up in the first 20 minutes.
1-3-1 by by Michigan. You got to get shots from the baseline.
From the corner, it's Hill.
Boy, is that easy. They just, again, you reverse the ball, great things happen for you in basketball. The ball went side to side, the zone was moved, became a 2-on-1 on the left side, and Hill knocked it in.
Ricky Doyle up and under.
Great move by John Beilein. First time they've done it all game. They went to a cross screen, which freed up Doyle to get the ball on the block. And it's important for Doyle to get it on the block because when he makes his move, he's on the rim, not 5 feet away from the rim, and that's a big difference for Doyle.
Rice steps back, creates some room, can't hit the jumper. Egwu right over the top of Karis LeVert to grab the rebound, but then he fouled Derek Walton.
Well, you're going to see right here, Ricky Doyle, he's going to come off of a little cross screen, and he gets the ball right there where he can go to work. He clears space, takes one dribble, and now he's in the lane. And you let Ricky Doyle get in the lane, he's long enough. Even if he doesn't get a good jump, he can finish at the rim. Great move. I'd go back to him. I'd continue to go back to Doyle against now Maverick Morgan.
And that foul on Egwu was his 3rd. So now Nana Egwu on the bench with 3. Hill and Rice both playing with 2 apiece for Illinois. No foul trouble to speak of for Michigan. Walton, no good. Malcolm Hill hits one ahead to Starks. He attacks the basket. That won't go for Ahmad Starks. Derek Walton now 0 for 7 from the field. LeVert, in and out.
You know why that went in and out? the ball spins like a globe, and you knew it. As soon as the ball gets spinning sideways, it hits the inside of the rim, it'll kick it out. When you put backspin on it, it sucks inside and goes in.
Foul on Cameron Chapman in the corner. Let's take a look and see if we can pick up that spin on the ball for Caris LeVert.
As it comes into frame, you're going to see a little bit of a side spin. And a side spin shoots the ball out.
Is that just the natural way that Caris LeVert shoots the basketball, or is that something that from time to time creeps in?
He shoots the basketball with kind of a global spin on it. Zach Irvin shoots it with a good snap. He'll spin it like you want. But both are pretty good shooters. You do something enough, you become pretty good at it.
Rice, nice move on the baseline.
Too strong for Zach Irvin. He just took Irvin down the baseline. Doyle came to help. But Rice, being a fifth-year senior, that's going to get probably close to 2,000 points in his career. Just understood stay low and go make a shot once guys come down from their jump.
LeVert, nice reverse by Caris LeVert.
Bobby, everything's difficult though. LeVert with a nice move by Rice. But man, Hill was alert and came over and forced a difficult shot, and that's the difference in this game.
13 now for Caris LeVert. He's the only Michigan player in double figures. None. Had it knocked away by LeVert. Nice find from Chapman. And it's 15 now for Caris LeVert.
Well, LeVert is absolutely carrying the load. He's the guy that is keeping Michigan in the ball game. You saw it defensively. You saw it on one end, now the other.
Ahmad Starks off a screen, hits a three.
Puncher's chance when you got little guards. And he just makes, expects to make, goes right back down the floor, plays defense.
Sat out last year after transferring from Oregon State. They thought they might be able to get an immediate hardship waiver for his eligibility at Illinois, but Ahmad Starks transferring because his grandmother was ill and wanted to be closer to home. Walton still can't hit, 0 for 8 from the field. But fumbling it out of bounds was Malcolm Hill. So it stays with Michigan.
A pretty good defense by LeVert. And really good awareness by Chapman to look ahead, and LeVert with the finish.
Michigan shooting 2 for 12 from 3, and they're down by 8. Just about 4 minutes gone by here in the second half.
Derek Walton doesn't have confidence in his shot. He really hung on to his follow-through there. Wide open shot, wasn't confident at all. Tried to will it in as opposed to just shoot it in.
LeVert fouled again. That foul called on LeRon Black. That's his first. Irvin, nice high-low pass. The reverse, way too strong, though, from Ricky Doyle. Crossover down the lane, Ahmad Starks. Irvin runs it down. Zach Irvin fouled by Ahmad Starks. And we'll step aside for just a moment. Illinois holding on to an 8-point lead here in Ann Arbor. Pioneer High School just across the street from the Big House. And that, of course, was the high school home of the new head coach at Michigan. You want to talk about getting a Michigan man? Jim Harbaugh played high school football on that field. You can hit a 9-iron and land at the 50-yard line of where he'll be coaching after having played college football right here in Ann Arbor. At Michigan from 1983 through 1986. Jim Harbaugh, of course, the quarterback for Bo Schembechler. And all of the pomp and circumstance, Dan Dockich, was rolled out today at the press conference for Jim Harbaugh as they have their head coach at Michigan, and it is the ultimate Michigan man.
And here's his two coordinators. Oh, I'm sorry. There's Lloyd Carr, who, I got to tell you, Bob, he came over and talked to us and was very complimentary of both you and me, and that's a big-time thrill for me because Lloyd Carr, to me, exudes class in college athletics.
Worked a couple of years college football for ESPN with Brian Greasy, who of course played for Coach Carr. He over and over again said the exact same things, echoing what you're talking about. Just has nothing but the highest respect for Lloyd Carr. And that sideways spin a little too strong on the jumper for Karis LeVert. Offensive rebound, though, for Donnell.
Well, they don't even look into Donnell.
Spike Albrecht kicks it to the corner. Irvin, no good again, but it's fumbled out of bounds. Unable to be controlled by LeRon Black, so again it stays with Michigan.
People want you to say ingenious things all the time, but the difference in basketball games comes down to who makes and who misses. I mean, it was a great setup for a wide open look in the corner by a terrific shooter in Zach Irvin, and that's his shot. He just missed it. There isn't anything else you can do.
Michigan's 2 for 14 from 3.
Not all of them have been good looks, but the majority have been.
As this season wears on, you think Spike Albrecht will get more and more playing time, maybe in place at times of Derek Walton? Spike Albrecht, can hit a shot.
Spike Albrecht is their comfort guy.
Irvin, in and out, 2 for 15 from 3 for Michigan.
Yeah, Albrecht's their comfort guy, but again, you get a good look from Irvin.
You come back the other way, and a line drive bottoms out for Aaron Cosby.
I mean, people get mad at you like you're supposed to split the atom here in basketball, but I've said it for years. It comes down to making or missing most times, and Cosby made a tougher shot than Irvin had twice, and same tougher shot than LeVert had.
LeVert, no good again. Another rebound inside for LeRon Black.
This is where you got to throw the ball inside. Whether you trust Donnell or not, you have to throw the ball inside, give him a chance, play inside out if you're Michigan.
Tate to the corner. At 3, just a little too strong for Ravante Rice. Here comes Spike Albrecht. Nice find to Donnell, who misses the bunny.
That'll make you put back things you never stole as a coach right there. I mean, that just drives you nuts. He's dying for points. You get a great look by Spike Albrecht. Donnell ran, just did not finish.
Ravante Rice goes to the line. Foul called on Cam Chapman. Well, we'll make history on New Year's Day on ESPN. The college football playoff semifinal games begin with the Rose Bowl presented by Northwestern Mutual. It's Oregon and Florida State at 5. Then we head down to the All-State Sugar Bowl in New Orleans for Alabama, Ohio State at 8:30. The college football playoff begins for the first time ever on New Year's Day on ESPN at 5 and 8:30.
I like Ohio State over Alabama. You do not.
You are in, I would say, the minority.
Yeah, I would say too.
Concerned.
Urban Meyer will have that team ready with a third-string quarterback ready to go.
I would say he can have them ready. But the question is, a third-string quarterback going up against Nick Saban with 3 weeks for him to fashion a game plan?
In theory,
hard for me to see Alabama losing that game.
Well, I've been wrong once. You got to throw it into Donnell because this playing around the perimeter isn't working. You've got to shrink the defense and then figure it out from there.
Spike Albrecht crosses over, kicks it out to Dawkins. That 3 goes. The third 3 of the game for Michigan. That's a big shot. It cuts into what was Illinois' largest lead.
Well, that's Aubrey Dawkins' second make, and the third one he had went in and out. So Aubrey Dawkins is feeling it, but really good defense once again by Illinois.
Cosby was fouled on a reach-in. That's going to go against Aubrey Dawkins.
This is Michigan's chance. You got to figure out who you're not going to let beat you. You are not going to let Hill or Cosby get shots. So you're going to have to help off of Nunn, and you're going to have to help off of Tate. You cannot get split on the perimeter for those 2 guys if you're Michigan.
Each team with 3 fouls in the first 8 minutes of the second half. Good defense by Karis LeVert, stopping the drive of Hill. But then right down the lane goes Cosby, and there's Hill for the putback.
Yeah, and Spike Albrecht was just standing there guarding Nunn, who hasn't done anything in this game. He didn't take away the drive from help. He didn't fake trap. He just stood there. And again, penetration opens up the backboard.
Zach Irvin swooping with the left hand. That won't go. Nana Egwu with the outlet to Jalen Tate.
Everything's hard, Bob. Everything's hard. You get past your man. Egwu's just standing right there, just being big.
Egwu fouled. He'll shoot a pair when we come back. Very impressive road opener as Illinois and Michigan play their first Big Ten games of the season, and the Illini in control. Illinois leads by 11. Michigan, Dan Dockich, is 1 for their last 8.
Yeah, and a lot of them have been bad shots. This is a bad shot right here. Michigan has not learned the difference between a good look at a 3 and a contested look at a 3. This is a great look. Kid jumps out there, but he's too late. A shot fake would do Michigan wonders in this basketball game, but you keep taking bad forced threes, you're going to shoot 3 for 16. Now, you start taking good ones, water does find its level. They're due for about a 4 or 5 in a row, but they got to be good looks, Bob.
Michigan at 19% from 3, 33% overall from the field. And on the flip side, Illinois, well, they're getting points much more often in the paint now, as they are up to 14 points in the paint, 46% from the field, and they're 6 for 10 from 3. So a good inside-outside mix for the Illini. And how big of a win, if Illinois can hold on, would this be for John Gross's team to start off with a road victory here at Chrysler in the Big Ten?
Well, you know, Illinois has had a tendency to start okay and then leadership issues down the stretch. But this is a veteran team. This is a team that's kind of searching for a big win. They got one against Missouri, but Missouri's not a great team. That's just a hard-fought win in a rivalry game. This would be massive. And a massive defeat to Michigan as well.
Well, Illinois opens up Big Ten play with 4 of their first 5 on the road. So right now they're in the midst of a stretch where they play 10 of 14 games away from home. And they're the only Power 6 conference team that starts off the season with a run like that. They do not play a lot of games in Champaign. So playing away from home's nothing new to the Illini, and they've got a 13-point lead. This is their largest lead.
Bobby, I've been around the Big Ten for 20-some years, and I've never heard of that.
LeVert. Offensive rebound. Aubrey Dawkins went way up in the air to grab it. He drew a foul.
Bob, we talk all the time. You hear coaches about trust. Right now, Michigan does not trust one another, and it's because of the misses. They don't trust to throw the ball inside. They don't trust, particularly LeVert here lately, to kick it to his teammate. He's going 1-on-4, 1-on-5. They don't trust each other to be in help side defensively. They've gotten beat to the help side position a lot. Trust is a big issue with Michigan basketball right now.
How do you develop that?
Well, make shots, number one, because then you want to throw it to guys. You see it, maybe, you know, films you see it, but guys, when things don't go well, man, they want to take it in their own hands. And
Dawkins hits a 3. That's his 3rd.
He's the only guy that's looking confident in his stroke right now.
That handoff by Donnell was assist number 5 in the game for Michigan. So maybe, Dan, that plays to your point of a lot of guys trying to do it alone, one-on-one, without a lot of help.
No doubt.
Shot clock under 10. Tate, a little floater, rolls home right over the top of Donnell.
Boy, a little high ball screen, and Mark Donnell had flattened out a little bit. Couldn't get to the runner. He should have been higher in that zone. It's a 2-3 zone.
LeVert goes back door. Ball movement sets up Irvin. He finally bottoms out a 3.
That's trust. LeVert could have taken a bad shot. He kicked it, another kick, and you knew that the ball was going to go in the basket. When you whip the ball around, funny how the ball knows to go in.
Michigan cuts the Illinois lead to 9. Zach Irvin's first points of the game, making it A single-digit lead for the Illini. And speaking of Illinois being on the road, it continues on our Saturday showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. At 3:30, it's D'Angelo Russell and the Buckeyes trying to shake off a tough home loss to Iowa today. They'll take on this Illini team. And then Justin Anderson and the undefeated Virginia Cavaliers battle the upset-minded Canes. The home court of college hoops Saturday. It begins at 3:30 on ESPN2, our Saturday showcase, capped with Virginia against Miami. That should be a good one.
Well, I had Virginia last week. They held Harvard to 8. It was 39-8 at half, and it didn't feel that close. You know what I mean? It was like 64-14 at one time. It was just a remarkable defensive effort against a pretty good team. Tommy Amagra's a pretty good team, but not that day.
Nana Egwu from deep. Revante Rice just about grabbed the offensive rebound, but it bounces to LeVert.
Ball's got to get swung.
Zach Irvin fires one up. 2 in a row for Zach Irvin. He hadn't scored in the first 30 minutes. He's got 6 in the last minute. John Gross, in the midst of a 9-2 Michigan run, wants a timeout.
Well, I wanted it swung because it's been too stagnant, but good thing for Michigan that Spike Albrecht didn't. He got it to a hot Zach Irvin. And remember, guy makes a shot. Your first option next time down the court is to explore that guy.
Does Zach Irvin fall in love with the 3
No doubt.
too often? Shouldn't he be a player that's got a more complete game? I mean, he shoots well from 3, and he's number 1 in the Big Ten at this point, averaging about 3 makes from 3 per game.
Yeah, he's an athletic kid that can go jump over people and can finish. I have no question about it.
Let's see how Illinois responds after the timeout with the lead cut to 6.
Back to 2-3 zone. Last time there was a high ball screen right side and a floater.
Shot clock under 10. Starks has his pass knocked out by Dawkins with 7 to shoot.
There was the high ball screen, but you just can't allow yourself to get screened. So many times kids will just say, I got screened. Well, don't get screened. Get underneath it. Good move by John Gross.
Rice tripped up and a foul call. That's on Irvin. Fifth Michigan foul here in the second half. Only the first on Zach Irvin.
John Beilein knows one stop and this place will explode.
Nunn throws it to Egwu.
So good. Ball screen. Egwu came up flying to set a high ball screen. Rolled, and once again, the Michigan help was late. When you're 2 passes away and on the weak side, you've got to get to the ball side of the basket.
LeVert with a save, but right to Egwu. Revante Rice through a double team. Can't hit. Donnell outlets to Albrecht. Dawkins for 3. He's got another. That's his 4th. A crowd-created turnover as the noise is affecting Illinois.
Man, this is great action by Illinois. Egwood, look at the late help. Egwood making himself big. And late help. You can't be there in late help. And now the ball is swung. And this kid here is keeping Michigan in. Aubrey Dawkins, son of Johnny.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Aubrey Dawkins finally has teammates that are as hot as he is. Michigan started off 2 for 15 from 3, but Dan, they've made their last 5.
Yeah, and Aubrey Dawkins has kept him around. That's tough 3 right there. He's hit 4 off the bench. John Beilein found something off of his bench, and it's this guy, Dawkins. You take him out of the mix, and this game is in double digits right now. 5-point game, Michigan with momentum.
Harris LeVert allows the flyby. Can't get the roll. Keeps it alive, though. Spike Albrecht ran right into Jalen Tate. Back the other way comes Cosby. He is fouled hard by Irvin, who immediately goes over and shows good sportsmanship to make sure that Aaron Cosby's okay. It looks like Ted Valentine's going to go over to the monitor and take a look at the foul by Zach Irvin on Aaron Cosby.
There's nothing there other than 2 shots. Good job of the officials. Got to go over and take a look, but nothing there.
They looked at one replay and one replay only. It could clearly see that Zach Irvin was just making a play on the ball.
Yeah, Zach was trying to go at the ball. Everything was up towards the ball. And a week ago, Zach Irvin got knocked down. We saw his sister and mom and dad concerned. So nothing dirty there. This guy's playing hard.
So the Seton Hall transfer, Aaron Cosby, can't hit the front end. He came into today shooting just under 90% at the line. Malcolm Hill sits down. The freshman LaRon Black back in. Aaron Cosby, Ahmad Starks, and Revante Rice. 3 pretty good transfers for John Gross, and they'll get better and better as the season goes on.
Yeah, because they can all make shots. They're smart. And they're quick, which is the way to play modern day college basketball.
Donnell,
short.
Way short.
He got his shoulders behind his feet. They set a nice play for him. That's his game. But his shoulders got behind his heels, and when you do that, you shoot the ball short. His shoulders didn't get out in front of his toes.
Egwu goes at Donnell. Left hand, air ball. Spike Albrecht finds Donnell running the floor to Irvin in the corner. In and out. It stays with Michigan.
Boy, good action. Donnell ran. Albrecht found him, and Donnell with the presence of mind to find an open shooter, and just in and out for Zach Irvin.
Spike Albrecht back to the bench. Derek Walton comes on for the first time in quite a while. Michigan hasn't made a 2-point basket in 10.5 minutes. Their last 5 field goals are all threes, and they began the game 2 for 15 from 3. But the 3 ball got them back in it. Dawkins tries another. He's got another. Another timeout called by John Gross.
Bobby, let me give you some perspective here. This is Three-point number 5 on the day for Aubrey Dawkins. He is 6 for 8 overall on all field goals the entire year. He's got 2 threes coming into this game out of 11 attempts. And give the kid credit, he's stuck with it. Obviously has worked extra, not afraid of the moment, and has just come in here and lit it up, keeping Michigan in this ball game.
Johnny Dawkins' son was averaging 1.5 points per game through the first 12 games for Michigan coming into today. He hadn't sniffed double figures, but he's got 15, and his three-point shooting is the single biggest reason why Michigan is even competitive right now, much less a chance to maybe pull one out of the fire.
He has not made a three since Nicholls State on the 29th of November. I guarantee you somebody on the coaching staff of Illinois is getting ripped. Like, why wasn't he on our scouting report?
Because he'd never scored more than 5 points in a game before.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying hard to overload the left side, and Michigan did a good job of not over-helping or over-shifting on the zone.
Revante Rice went one way, the ball went the other.
That was a good setup by John Gross. John Gross, same thing, high ball screen right side. Cosby was able to get into the lane, or excuse me, Starks was able to get in the lane and just made a bad play out of it.
LeVert thought about it on the step back, instead hands it off to Walton. LeVert, yes, 1-point game. Away for Hill. That's a big shot by Malcolm Hill and the Illini. Quiet the crowd,
Boy,
at least for the moment.
You got to love Hill. He was up there to set a couple ball screens. He tried to set a right side ball screen, and then he knows exactly where to go on the court and found the open and just turned around and nailed it. He tried to set a screen first. Oh, that was good.
Hill is the first Illinois player in double figures. Seven to shoot. Crossover by LeVert. Off to Irvin for 3. Anna Egwu did a nice job of walling off Ricky Doyle. Line drive won't go from the corner for Cosby. Has Illinois forgotten about Revante Rice? He only has 6 points.
He has not looked to score either, really. I mean, he's kind of just gone with the flow. I would guess that this will be the Revante Rice last 3 minutes for Illinois.
LeVert finds Doyle. Again, Revante Rice not touching the basketball. But the drive was there for Cosby. He missed it from short range. LeVert once again finds Ricky Doyle. And Michigan, they've got the lead. Timeout, Illini.
Man, is this fun. Look at Hill right in the middle of the defense. Malcolm Hill just knows where to go. A lot of patience, calm, but man, Karis LeVert twice. Nadu Egwu has over-helped on Karis LeVert getting into the middle of the lane. Right here, you're going to see him help up. You never help up. You fake at the ball, but stay in line with your man. And Karis LeVert, by getting it into the lane, has been able to find Doyle, and you see the reaction.
Karis LeVert not only has 17 points to lead Michigan, but tack on 4 assists as well. So he's in the mid-20s in terms of points created in the game. And it's a 21-7 Michigan run to give them, as you can see, their first lead in quite a while.
Yeah, and he's done it off a running start where he's able to get the ball into the lane, and he's been patient. He hasn't tried to lift up over. He's recognized that Egwu has been coming at him, and he just drops it down. You can't help up, Bob. When you are a post defender and the ball's in the lane, you cannot go running at the ball. It exposes the basket.
That's Dan Dockich on Bob Wischusen coming up on 2 minutes to go. And how does the ball not go through Ravonte Rice if you're Illinois?
Well, they just addressed that. He's the guy now with the ball in that little right ball screen.
Has his pocket picked though by Walton. Finds Irvin. Misses the dunk. Blocked by the rim. Nunn with the left hand, no good. Nana Egwu kept it alive. And eventually the stick back is there for Malcolm Hill.
Wow, Malcolm Hill out of nowhere, just stronger than everybody. Egwu kept it alive, you're right. But man, 15 extra pounds been so big for Malcolm Hill.
Timeout called by John Beeline with 1:27 to go.
This all started. Ricky Doyle did a nice job in the middle of the zone. He didn't help up. He made the player make a shot. And then, you see right here, Doyle didn't really help. He kind of went up, and now the battle is on. And Malcolm Hill just with one hand beasts 4 guys from Michigan. Watch his right hand come out of nowhere, right? Right there. He just grabs it. There's 4 guys around. He don't care. He just goes up and scores. 9 in this half, 13 on the game for Hill. He's terrific.
The 12th time he's been in double figures, only a sophomore, and last season playing behind what was a deeper front court for Illinois. He just didn't get the minutes that he's getting now, but boy, has he been productive through the first third of the season for John Gross.
Always skilled, always active, Malcolm Hill. Not necessarily strong enough last year, and that was addressed. And but by the end of the year, he was getting big minutes because he's just too skilled and too savvy to keep on the bench.
Now what for Michigan? Who do you run through off the timeout?
I get the ball in LeVert's hands, but I get it off of movement. And again, Illinois now is going to go to a little 2-3 zone look. So you're going to try to get a corner jump shot. Somebody got to get in the middle. That somebody's probably going to be Irvin or LeVert.
Spike Albrecht underneath to good. Malcolm Hill bumps a foul called. He'll go to the free throw line. We still haven't taken our under 4-minute TV timeout. Until now, we can all catch our breath. What a day in Michigan sports. We've got a 1-point game inside Chrysler Center, but the day began with all the conversation about what's going to take place next fall in the Big House, because Jim Harbaugh returns home. He was introduced at a noon press conference earlier today as the new head coach of Michigan. He spoke to the crowd at halftime. The tickets for this game went from not that much in demand to basically quintupling in price overnight when Michigan football fans found out they were going to hear from the head coach that he would show up to the Big Ten opener between the Wolverines and Illini. And these guys It's the new coaching staff, I guess, for Jim Harbaugh. They forgot about their headsets a long time ago. They may have come here to hear Jim Harbaugh, but they have been treated, Dan Dockich, to a heck of a basketball game that now has 48 seconds remaining and only 1 point separating the Wolverines and Illini. And Malcolm Hill ties the game.
Was he calm? He is not. He is.
The coach would make Coffee nervous, but he's got a sophomore that plays like a fifth-year senior at the line that gives Illinois the lead.
Has not changed expression, Malcolm Hill. Now, if you're Michigan, you got to get in the lane, but you got to do it off of movement. Boy, you got to look at Doyle. Doyle's got a mismatch.
LeVert finds Doyle again. Can't finish. That's a good foul by Nana Egwu as he came over to help, and that will force Ricky Doyle to get the job done at the line.
And Egwu was guarding Dawkins on the wing for just this. They wanted Egwu to be the help guy instead of the guy that had to jump up to help in the lane. They wanted him kind of coming from the side. That's why they made the switch. He was just there a little late.
That's the fourth on Egwu. So if this game goes to overtime, that's the rim protector for the Illini in foul trouble.
Bobby, remember I told you about three-point play. You're a freshman or a big guy, you're 6'11", you're on the rim. I know he got fouled, but you got to know that's coming. You got to make that bucket.
Especially considering the struggles that Michigan has had as a team at the line. They are now 3 for 8. And we're tied with 30 seconds to go and a timeout called by John Gross.
Fans may say, hey, he got fouled, he can't make the bucket. Ooh, the good ones make the bucket and get fouled.
Well, we've got a moment back to the studio and Jonathan Coachman. Hopefully we have about as good a finish as here as maybe they will have between Maryland and Michigan State. As you saw, it's Maryland going to be visiting the I-Zone to open up their tenure in the Big Ten. As we take a look at our reset, each team with a timeout left. Illinois has one more foul to give. Michigan has the arrow.
Couple things. Revante Rice, remember what he did against Missouri with the step back three. I wouldn't be surprised. Two things. Him getting the ball, whether it's against zone or man-to-man, and going at the rim, creating if it's against a zone in a gap, if it's against man-to-man, overpowering, or a mid-post type action, what you just saw with Malcolm Hill, right side about 2 notches up the lane. Those two things are the strengths of Illinois to get buckets and to get fouled, which is what you want in this situation. You want to put the defense in a position to foul as much as you want to go get a bucket.
Shot clock turned off.
1-3-1, they went over the top. Two, 3 now.
Ten seconds to go. Revante Rice, tough shot, way short. 2 seconds remaining. Here's Irvin, good if it goes. Overtime in Ann Arbor.
Great defensive play. If we could start it maybe on a little bit of a pause. Watch right here. Watch LeVert just come and leave his man. This is the action, a high ball screen. Watch LeVert come and challenge the shot. Just runs away. That is a great awareness, great coaching by both LeVert to play it, and I guarantee you in the huddle, the staff told LeVert, leave your man, that's their set. Go get a piece of the ball. That was great on both ends. Illinois went to the play that had been working, and Michigan anticipated it and sent LeVert at the ball. Great piece of coaching, both coaches, particularly Michigan staff.
Illinois, for the most part in the second half, led anywhere from 7 all the way up to 13. Now Michigan gets the game to overtime. What odds do you now give Illinois on the road in overtime when they lost a second-half double-digit lead of winning this game?
I don't think momentum matters right now. Here's why I say that, Bob. I think Illinois is getting good looks. I think they're going to get good looks. I think they're going to have opportunities to get fouled. I think Michigan has found something, obviously, get in the lane, draw out the help, go down low to Doyle. So I don't give an edge to either one. I know we're supposed to say, man, they got it to overtime. Michigan's got the advantage with momentum. I don't buy it. I just think that Illinois has too many places to go offensively to be out of this game for any reason other than just missing shots.
Arguably their best weapon, though, is Ravante Rice, and he has been quiet. He's done everything but.
Yeah.
He's got 8 rebounds. He's got 5 assists. He's been a factor defensively, but he only has 6 points as we begin overtime. He just has not shot the ball either well or much. 2 of 7 from the field.
I don't think he's been very assertive. You know, I want to give you the why, and the why is, look, he's just kind of standing, letting others do it.
Why not feed Malcolm Hill, though?
Man, oh man, is he good in the middle of his zone, and that is an absolute skill. Not everybody can do that. Playing in traffic is a skill, it's a knack.
Hill's got 17, the only Illini in double figures, and he's scored their last 8.
Spike Albrecht's going to get a jumper at the top of the key.
Aubrey Dawkins fouled on the turnaround.
Just remember that for later. Aubrey Dawkins got in the middle of the lane and got a shot. Egwu fouls out, but
That foul on Nana Egwu is his 5th.
the way they're playing the zone, Spike Albrecht or somebody is going to have to make a 3 at the top of the key because they're going to get a look, real good look.
How much does Illinois lose with Egwu out and Maverick Morgan taking over in the middle?
I think he loses a ton. Egwu's experience, Egwu finishes better. Now, Maverick Morgan has played really well in this game. He's clogged the middle. He's hit a baseline jump shot. He's been a force keeping the ball up, but Egwu's a difference maker on the defensive end.
Talked about how calm, cool, and collected Malcolm Hill looks. How about Aubrey Dawkins? Here's a guy whose career high coming into today was 5. Tack on a couple of free throws. He's up to 17. And he tied with LeVert for the Michigan lead in scoring.
Bobby hasn't changed expression. Either one of the guys.
Rice floats one to the corner. And Malcolm Hill will drive it into a triple team. Irvin hits a corner 3 off the feed from LeVert, and Michigan's on top. Cosby tries to answer, can't do it. Maverick Morgan can't fight the rebound away from Ricky Doyle. LeVert, step back. And the rebound to Ravante Rice. 9 rebounds for Rice. Malcolm Hill fouled by Dawkins. It'll be a 1-and-1. Team foul number 8 against Michigan.
Michigan made a really nice move, went to the 1-3-1 zone after they couldn't guard Hill in the middle. You're going to see right here, pass is going to be made, and the ball's going to be swung. And on the swing, you see the defense adjust. Spike Albrecht is right there and help early. Now Aubrey Dawkins is right there on his man. Now watch as the ball gets driven. Watch Spike Albrecht come right down and get a piece on it. enabling Dawkins to get a handle, and then right here, penetrating pitch, and you give this kid, Irvin, looks from the corner, you got a problem, because if he misses 2, that means he's got 3 makes coming.
The front end of the 1-1 goes down for Malcolm Hill. He's got 18. And the free throw advantage, a 5-point advantage for Illinois overall. They've got 10 points at the free throw line. Michigan only 5 points shooting free throws. It's a 1-point game. 2.5 minutes to go in overtime.
Boy, is it fun watching kids improve. And watching Malcolm Hill and Aubrey Dawkins in this game is just so much fun. Getting better right there before your eyes, becoming stars.
Irvin.
Telling you, bad shot. They got to know when to shot fake. Irvin set it up nice, but you got to shot fake.
Hill got a piece. Rice steps into a 3. Irvin the rebound.
See, I think Rice needs to drive the ball, go get fouled. He looked really uncomfortable. It was open, but he looked uncomfortable shooting it because he hasn't shot many. He just got to go to the rim and bully people.
Dawkins for 3. He does it again.
Yep. Hey, you can fall asleep on anybody in this building except for Dawkins. Watch Black right here. He's guarding Dawkins. You can't see Dawkins' left corner. Black just falls asleep. He just playing. He not competing. Fall asleep on the 13,000 fans or all of us, but don't fall asleep on that guy. He'd kill you in this game.
If the 5 previous threes didn't convince you, maybe the 6th does.
Hey.
He's got 20 points. He's shot the ball 8 times. That's pretty efficient.
Bobby, this place is packed and going nuts. So pay attention to everybody, or don't, but you gotta know where Dawkins is. He's the one guy in this building you have to have a sense of.
The last time Michigan led by more than 4, it was 7-2. They clawed their way back into the game in overtime, and now they've got Illinois on the ropes with 1:43 to go.
Man, what a game for that kid, Aubrey Dawkins. Wow.
13 assists and 1 turnover for Michigan since halftime. What a clean second half they played.
1-3-1 again. Rice just has to go get the ball, Bob. He's just got to go get it and take it at somebody. Figure it out later.
Shot clock at 5. Here he is. Gives it up quickly. Hill. Air ball. Michigan has struggled at the line. How long do you wait before you start to foul if you're Illinois?
Well, now you just got to play it out, but I think I'd have fouled a lot earlier. As you said, Donnell had the ball. You might as well just foul him in the backcourt.
Shot clock at 10. You can't foul now. Karis LeVert penetrates. Got it. The final timeout spent here by John Gross. While we have a moment, back to Jonathan Coachman. All right, Coach. Jim Harbaugh had no voice when he tried to talk to the fans at halftime. There's not going to be anybody with a voice left in Ann Arbor. By the time the day is over, they began by cheering for their new football coach. And they have spent the second half on their feet watching a come-from-behind effort from the basketball team. Again, a basketball team that's got losses in this building to Eastern Michigan and NJIT on the resume. So, Dan, you start to talk about how important every Big Ten game is for Michigan, especially. Even the opener is a game of vital importance when you have Illinois on the ropes at home.
You know, we just saw the fans And these fans have made an unbelievable difference. But let's be honest, this game was pretty dull for the first half. 26-22, I think at halftime, it was dull. And then all of a sudden, Aubrey Dawkins showed up, and this whole place got juiced. Second half started dull. Everybody was anticipating Harbaugh. He spoke, and it got dull. But again, Aubrey Dawkins started making, then Irvin followed suit. And next thing you know, you've got a heck of an environment, a heck of a game.
Illinois can't take much time. Tate on a drive. The kick out sets up Cosby. Fight for the rebound. Found inside by Rice. He couldn't hit. Held ball. And it belongs to Michigan. And quickly, Anthony Scarrato, the official, jumps in between Donnell and LaRon Black to make sure that tempers aren't lost.
A great setup by John Gross. Got a good look at a three, just didn't come close. Got a foul.
It's a 10-2 run for Michigan to open up the 6-point lead. And how soon, even after you get a player trapped in the corner, do you have to decide to foul?
Well, you got a foul right now. You just can't.
And the foul given by Aaron Cosby. Well, the only bright spot for Illinois, it is the perfect foul scenario. That's their 7th. So it's 3 straight 1-and-1s, which, if you get some misses, give you a chance to get back in the game in a hurry.
No doubt about it. And I was a little surprised there that John Beilein kept Donnell in the game with Derek Walton sitting on the bench. Derek Walton quick enough to get open on his own, but got the ball to the right guy, Irvin.
Michigan is now 6 of 11 at the line, but the lead up to 7. Pair for Irvin. Hill forces one up. Can't hit it. To Spike Albrecht. He's fouled. And now the celebration is officially on here at Chrysler Center.
Again, I think making shots makes a difference in college basketball. I mean, it energized this whole place because Aubrey Dawkins started making shots.
Well, you talked about it. You don't want to act like analyzing basketball is splitting the atom. And the biggest difference, first half to second half, all of a sudden, John Beilein's team started to knock a few down.
Yeah, and he found a guy that could do it. Credit Beilein and his staff for digging deep into the bench. The guy who'd made 2 threes all year, Aubrey Dawkins, comes in and just lights the joint.
With 11 minutes to go in the game, Illinois led by 13. Michigan with 8 triples in the last 11 minutes. And they're going to win this one in overtime, 73-65. Very important Big Ten opening win for Michigan. They come from double digits down to beat Illinois. For Dan Dakich, I'm Bob Wischusen. Now it's time to go 65 miles up the road to East Lansing. Dick Vitale and Dan Shulman, Maryland and Michigan State. Dan?